The show stating what others hate. Seeking the truth and transparency here on Patriot View
at 1A Independent News.
With your host, Bear Direct.
Hey, what's going on, Patriots? I decided to do an episode today. I wasn't sure yesterday whether I was going to or I was just going to take the Thanksgiving weekend and not do an episode. But, you know, I keep seeing something coming up. I heard about it the other day. It might have been Friday or Monday. I can't remember which. And I kept forgetting to address it. So I'm going to get to that in just a second. If you got something you want to get out there, hang into the end. Website and email right here. Website and email. So if you got something you want to get out but don't want to put it on your social media profile because of trolls, we know it doesn't matter whether you're on the left, you're on the right. If you're somebody on the left and you say something that goes against what the hard liberals think, they are going to attack you. How do you know they're liberals? One, they don't agree with you, period, and they attack you. Well, you know, conservatives disagree with liberals. Oh, yeah, sure, we absolutely do. But we're willing to have a constructive conversation, and you're generally not going to get attacked, especially called names, things like that. It's very specific, and over the years, I've had disagreements with conservatives myself, or we have a difference of opinion on a topic. How's that? And never, but once did I have any kind of an issue with insults from one. What we think is an actual insult to a, I mean, it takes it like 10 steps above a liberal. If you mildly disagree with them, they're insulted. Sorry. So in order to insult a conservative, generally it's going to be something pretty freaking harsh. They can sit there and make comments about our grammar. They can sit there and make comments. And listen, when it comes to grammar, generally when they are insulting you via text, so to speak, anything that you're typing and it's coming up letters and numbers and whatever, that's text. It does. I mean, I said that one other time about text, and somebody, and it was a liberal, believe it or not, goes, you know, we're not texting through our phone, you know. That's a text. No, a text message or anything that you were communication that is typed is because guess what? The letters and numbers, it's text. Which is why on phones it's called texting. Because all you're doing is letters and numbers. And now you're doing emojis, you're doing all this. Okay, the point's getting lost, I think, on this. But anyways, I've only had, like I said, one time that I had a difference of opinion with another conservative that out of many, see, we don't always agree with each other. Liberals, hardcore liberals, oh yeah, why do you think they go out and they protest and they riot? They all agree with each other no matter what, blindly. Conservatives don't do that. We will disagree with each other. No, I don't agree with what you're saying. I believe there's like a different way, a different spin we can put on it to make it better. No, that's just over the top. an over-the-top way of thinking. We got to ratchet it back a little bit, things like that. Like I said, out of many, I've only had one that even remotely even tried to be insulting. And it was years and years ago. So, called me a keyboard warrior. Little to him, I knew where he hung out. He was pretty much a local guy, so I knew who he was. He didn't know who I was. So I happened to see him one time. Surprise, surprise. And I said, "Hey, what about that keyboard warrior comment?" And man, he ratcheted it back real quick because he didn't expect me. So let's have that conversation now. So, I guess he was much smaller than I anticipated, and I was much larger than he anticipated. So I think it became a little intimidating for him, not much for me. But I think by the end, he still didn't agree with me. I still didn't agree with him, but we agreed to disagree, type thing. And neither one got mad and insulting because one said, well, I guess this time we're just going to have to agree to disagree. And we've agreed on a lot of things since. But I think he thinks twice now about what he says to people that disagree with him on the computer. He's probably sitting there going, oh man, this freaking next guy might be bigger. Oh, I don't know. All I know is I've never had an issue since. He basically, on top of the keyboard warrior, he said a few things that he probably should not have literally actually said. It was just, uncalled for. And you don't do. But anyways, I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Some people are afraid. It doesn't matter whether whether you're conservative, you're liberal, somebody that thinks to the left. If you disagree with their mindset, they're going to attack you. They will literally attack their own. So yes, you have an outlet. Also, we do have some guidelines. We'll wrap those all up in a bow at the end for you. And so you know what it is. We don't have any sponsors. We have items we recommend only. Okay. So we purchased these items. We tried them. We like them. So we decided to put them up there as a recommended item. We have two ways you can support us on our website because we do not have any sponsors. There's a crowdfunding box in the bottom of the homepage. Hosting gift boxes on top of all the pages. The hosting gift boxes, if you choose to use one of those, goes directly. Whatever you gift goes directly to our hosting provider, and it credits our hosting account. It doesn't go to us. Okay, it credits our hosting account. So we thank you very much for however you want to try to support us. I pay for everything out of my pocket, so it gets to be hard. We've had to cancel a few things. Our live streaming platform was one. It had a lot of options, and I really hated to get rid of it, but it just was costing me too much. I couldn't afford it anymore. That's one of many. So we're kind of limited now on what we're doing, and it just makes it harder and more time consuming. Really good way if you're viewing from Facebook, X, or Truth, you're getting the episode of the day. Is share on those platforms. Sign up for a free Rumble account, and share. Can't tell this is a garbage truck or a bus. What are you doing? It's a little foggy out this morning. And because of the fog, I can't tell whether I'm looking at a garbage truck or a freaking school bus. I'm just going to creep up on here so I can... Oh, it's a truck, garbage truck. He's probably looking at me going, what the hell is this guy doing? I couldn't tell, I've seen the buses, well, we got thing on the thing that says school bus on it and it's lit. I've seen them a couple times, but that they're not, they've actually been out. They miss them on their free trips. So, but that was flashing just like you would see on a school bus, and it was just foggy, and it was just too hard to tell from where it was. It's a little bit darker out, and the fog's just enough to create a little bit of chaos. Try being a little more careful. The road's a little wet. Got brand new sneakers on the truck though, on the Beast. But still, gotta watch out for deer as well. So, anyways, yeah. So, sign up for that free Rumble account. If you're on YouTube, man, go to Rumble. If you you can't find us on Rumble, let me know. Hit us in the comment section or something. Hit us an email. That's going to be up there. It'll be back up at the end. And we'll get you the link to our Rumble channel. Okay, that's helping us get our views up on Rumble, because Rumble doesn't make you jump through hoops to monetize. You just got to have the numbers, and we need a lot of numbers per episode. Okay, so that was what our plan was when we started this, was for it to sustain itself through monetization. Through monetizing. So help us out. Help us get those numbers up. Or if you want to help support us in another way, you can do it over on the, you still get the view, but you can also help us out over on the, with the crowdfunding or the hosting. So hang in to the end. We're going to give you a way to get something out on our website if you don't want to put it on your own social media profile. So anyways, I've been watching this. Jasmine Crockett, the one that called Greg Abbott Hot Wheels, and he's a hot mess, using some vulgarities and speaking engagements, press conferences, and that seems to be more of a thing now. I know, Supreme Court, one man's vulgarity is another man's lyric. I get it. I just think that sometimes we have to be professional, especially as elected officials. And not be dropping F-bombs and stuff like that, all the time. So, some of them kind of ratchet it back, try to watch what they're saying. And it can be hard sometimes, especially when you're really passionate about something. But then when they're sitting there spreading lies, and they're still, because they're not being passionate about it, they're creating an act because they know they're speaking a lie. They try to give the impression that they're speaking the truth, but they know they're speaking a lie. So Jasmine Crockett's one. Jasmine Crockett, and her team researched, and Lee Zeldin took campaign donations from Jeffrey Epstein, trying to make him look really bad. Right now and then they did it to a few others. Taking donations from Jeffrey Epstein. Well, and now, I'm going to tell you, now she's getting interviewed, singing a different story. Well, no, it was an example of it. No. It was clearly stated that he and they took campaign contributions from Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, absolutely. Campaign donations from Jeffrey Epstein, the doctor, in I think Long Island or something like that. Totally different Jeffrey Epstein. I think even the middle initial was different. There's a lot of Jeffrey Epsteins. They said he took campaign donations from the Jeffrey Epstein from Epstein Island. Jeffrey Epstein that suicided himself, supposedly. I still have a... Oh, man. I'm not buying it. But anyways, and now she's sitting there going, and now, mind you, now when these campaign contributions supposedly happened from Jeffrey Epstein, the Jeffrey Epstein, as they said, Epstein Island, Jeffrey Epstein, he was already dead. So it would have been impossible for him to make a campaign contribution. Now that they're called out on it, Jasmine Crockett's doing the backpedal. Oh, no. That's not what we said. We said the research was done, and it could be an example of, or blah, 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 whatever word salad she was trying to throw out there to try to make people believe that she wasn't that stupid and she believed her people and put out a statement that should have never, ever been put out there. That's not what was said. That was exactly what was said. You know, the one that's asked a question about, when she's asked a question about what she thinks of Elon Musk and, you know, F Elon, blah, 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 blah. Greg Abbott's Hot Wheels and, you know, hot mess. I just, what is she thinking? And now you got these Democrats that are turning on, absolutely turned on Chuck Schumer. Oh, Chucky boy. They turned on you, Chucky boy. This is what we're saying, that they're making this big deal out of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She decided she didn't agree with all this stuff, with the shutdown, the plans, blah, 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 whatever. And they're trying to make it sound like Trump, you know, is gunning for her and blah, 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 blah. And she made a decision that she was going to be done. Okay. Listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she made her decision. I listened to her. I'm a little disappointed myself in her. And any Republican that actually sided with the Democrats over the shutdown, I am. I know I know what the Democrats were trying to do. I know what the Republicans the GOP was, they were trying to prevent. And then you got these Republicans that are sitting in the middle, and they're thinking about, and they're thinking about it the wrong way. They're not thinking about, okay, listen, we can't have this, we can't have this, we can't have this, we can't have this. But we got to make sure that this, and this is taken care of. Okay, we can't get it in this, but you know what? We can bring this back. We can circle back around to this really fairly quick. Write up a new bill that covers those issues alone as a standalone. Let's get the government open. Should have been what their thought process was. Not going, well, you know, we should probably just support what the Democrats are saying because it's going to affect these things. And that's why you had Republicans in the Senate that were voting against what the Republicans were trying to do. So you cannot be okay with giving a bunch of free money to illegals. Sorry. It's going to affect, citizens. Everything that you guys do affects us citizens. It's nothing new. We've been getting screwed for decades and decades and decades. So we should be used to it. I know all those of us that are older in years, like myself, we're used to it. Social Security, by the time my kids go to collect Social Security, I'm probably going to be lucky to get it. And I'm on the cusp. I'm not that many years off from being able to collect. But by the time my kids go to get it, they're not going to get Social Security. What's that? What's that? They should have a savings plan in place for people. Like George Bush said during his administration was retirement savings. If you were born within in a certain year, it should go to retirement savings. Well, then you got to figure out a way to fund social people, those that are getting Social Security right now. I've always been a proponent of saying I do not agree with people that have never paid into the Social Security system getting Social Security. If you're not a citizen, you should not be getting Social Security. If you haven't paid into Social Security, you should not be getting Social Security of any type. Social Security, disability, Social SSI, SSD, whatever the hell it is. You have not paid into it. You're not a citizen. I'm classifying those as two different things. Okay, you don't get it. Listen, I got a brother. He's had actually doctors for Social Security. He's a severe diabetic. His feet break open. He's had jobs. He can't be on his feet. He's not qualified to do a sit-down job. Most of them. Most jobs aren't factory jobs are not sit-down jobs. Contracting jobs are not sit-down jobs. And they say he can't work. 10 times he's been denied Social Security, even when the Social Security doctors are saying, yes, absolutely, he needs it. No, he's an older brother. But they're giving Social Security to people that barely ever put into it. I'll give you another example. Why not use my family as an example? My brother-in-law, he's passed away about a year ago. Barely worked. Barely contributed to Social Security. And got SSI. Or SSD or whatever it is, Social Security disability. And I just sit there and baffle my head. There was no reason he could have congestive heart failure, kidney disease. He brought it upon himself. He did a lot of drugs and drank a lot of alcohol. He did it to himself. But you know what? There's people on dialysis have congestive heart failure. A lot of people that are on dialysis have congestive heart failure. Period. But they still work. He just did not want to work. He was lazy. He barely ever worked. Like I said, if he worked 2 years in his life, legitimate work, that's pushing it. So how much money could he have put into the Social Security? Not much, considering he was 60 something. And when he did work on legitimate jobs, it was in his late 18, 19, maybe 20, 21 years old, if that. Sad. You got people that need it, can't get denied. In the specific case, my brother 10 times. And my brother-in-law, before he passed away, he had it for several years. I think he was on it for 4 or 5 years. Got it right out of the gate first time. Go figure. Go freaking figure. Sad. It really is. But what are you gonna do? What do they say? Can't fight City Hall. But see, that's the mindset of I want free things. I want free things. I deserve free things. Versus you got somebody that just always worked and just got screwed. So I don't know, guys. It's just sad to see what kind of a state that we're in. You got politicians that just don't care. It's about them. Lie, cheat, and steal type people. And it's sad. You got politicians like AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Ilhan Omar, and the list goes on. They just don't care. They don't care about you. You know, you hear them now and they're they're trying to beef. They're trying to do the same thing. They're trying to sway the midterms. They're trying to make as many negatives as they can. Okay? Let's blame the conservatives for everything. That video they put out basically telling the military and stuff to not obey orders, to deem them unlawful. I watched it. That's exactly what I saw was we're telling you because we're making sure that the media's putting it out. We're talking about it. And every time we say about Trump sending the National Guard in to help, Trump doing this, or he's got to send the military to help ICE, we're saying it's illegal every time. We're pounding that home and home and home and home and home. Basically what they're trying to do now that they put that big message out where a bunch of them did it. Kelly was one of them. They're getting a visit from the FBI now over this because they basically planted the seed illegal with all these things through the media and through press conferences they've done. Basically the military and stuff is sitting there going, they got them questioning. You don't have to do an illegal. Oh, you don't have to obey an illegal order. So now they're hoping that these men and women have already been subliminally brainwashed by the media and by them over how many months of them saying illegal, this is illegal by Trump and the administration on these issues. So now they're going, oh, that's illegal. I'm not going to do that because it's been pounded in their head. It's like a kid that's between two parents and the one parent alienates the child from the other parent because that parent's had him so long, or her, that she just pounded all these false negatives into this child's head against the other parent. Again, been there, done that, the victim. So I'm using it in a manner that a lot of people can understand, men and women, because it happens both ways. But that's what it's like. These liberal Democrats do not give a rat's ass about you. They only care about them. They care about the liberal socialist agenda. So they got people thinking that the economy is not getting any better. The economy is bad, blah, 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 blah. They've already got the stats. They got the numbers. And what they say, the price of a Thanksgiving turkey or Thanksgiving dinner to prepare, and this is from numbers from Walmart, compared to last year, are down over 20%. That's 20%, man. That's not a lot. Well, if you figure when you're everything that you're going to buy, 20% isn't that bad when you add up that total. Okay. So another lie that the liberals are spreading when it comes to deportations, the numbers of people that have been deported, now remind you not, these numbers also include the people that have chosen to get that gift to self-deport, okay, and come back the right way. So some of them have taken advantage of that system, which actually, in the long run, costs the taxpayers less money for them to self-deport and us help them with it. Costs the taxpayers less money for them to log in, register, bing, bang, boom, Bob's your uncle, they self-deport. How's that even possible? Figure out what it costs in manpower to go get these people, the wear and tear on vehicles, especially when you have these anti-icers out there basically destroying them, flattening tires, smashing windows, burning them if they can. Believe me, it costing the taxpayers less money. Plus, they got them in detention before they deport them. They have to house them. They have to make sure they wash, probably some clothing, other necessities, and food. So yeah, so for them to self-deport, it's costing the taxpayers less money. I'm all on board with that. But they're sitting there saying, oh, they're rounding up citizens and deporting them. No, they're not. Been saying it time and time and time again. No, they're not. It's a lie that the liberal media and the Democrats, or liberal Democrats, have been putting forth and trying to get people to believe. They're just rounding up citizens and deporting them now. And it's false. It's a false flag. And they're trying to get people to believe that this administration is that evil that it would deport its own citizens. So they're evil, man. I'm sorry. They're freaking downright flat out freaking evil. So, all right, guys, I'm going to bust out. Before I do, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. We will not be, don't believe it will be on Friday. But I just wanted to get this little tidbit out. I want to thank you for bearing with us in the beginning. Excuse me. For what we put out. Oh. I had a sip of water since we started. One of my throat's dry. So again, the best way to support us is help us get those views up on Rumble, Facebook, X, or Truth. You're getting the episode of the day. Share on those platforms. Sign up for that free Rumble account, because when you view from X, Facebook, or Truth, you're getting shipped direct to Rumble. Okay, to our Rumble episode. So sign up for that free Rumble account. Try your hand at content creation. I believe you still get some a limited amount of free storage. We have a paid plan because obviously we need more storage. Hit the orange and white one in logo or Patriot View. Should take you to our channel. Follow, subscribe to our channel. I believe you got to have a registered account on Rumble in order to do that. So, YouTube, we got to jump through hoops to monetize on YouTube. So you got to have, like Facebook, you got to have so many followers, subscribers, whatever, views per episode. Blah 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 blah. Then the whole 9 yards. They make you jump through hoops. They basically make it very hard for somebody to monetize. We can monetize on Rumble. We just got to have a lot of numbers, or it just adds up really slow. I mean, there's like micro increments on the views, and so it could take you. I mean, it literally took 4.5 years to hit like $2.68. We can't cash out to 50 until we hit 50. So that's just an example. So we're not making anything on our Rumble episodes, which is what we were planning to fund our mission, our goals, what our vision for Patriot View and our 1A Independent News is. So if you got something you want to put out, something you want to say, pop over, send us a website and email. If it's not up here right now, it'll be up in a second. So that's where it would end up, is on the website. So you pop over to the website. 2 ways to support us on the website. Again, one on the bottom of the home page, there's a crowdfunding box. Top of all pages on the website, there's a gift box. That's put up there by our host provider. Anything you gift to the gift box go to our host provider, goes to our host provider, does not go to us, goes to our host provider, credit to our hosting account. Again, we do not have any sponsors. We have items we recommend. It's clearly stated in the description that they're not a sponsor. If anything changes, we will remove not a sponsor, and we will put the appropriate relationship in. Again, we're not going to take credit for your piece. So you must have a first name or pseudonym, state and location, not a physical address. State and location, just so we can see who we're reaching out, others can see who we're reaching out. If you quote anything, first of all, also, run your piece through a grammar editor. We don't have time to go through, check your grammar. We don't, no, we're not grammar police. But punctuation, proper punctuation, and correct spelling can actually mold your piece together, so people can actually really get on board and understand exactly what you're saying and what the message is you're trying to relay. Okay? That's all we're saying. Hard liberals will disagree with your piece, even if you're somebody from the left. And they disagree with you. They are going to attack you on your grammar, almost all but guaranteed, as their grammar and spelling is all, their punctuation, their spelling, their grammar all together is just jacked up. They will sit there and attack you and criticize yours. I've seen some attack people on their punctuation or their spelling, and they've got nothing but grammatical errors from start to finish, and it's one run-on sentence. They don't have punctuation issues. There is no punctuation. It's one run-on sentence of spelling mistakes. Nothing but grammatical errors. Period. It's a grammatical hot mess. And they're criticizing somebody else about their punctuation or spelling. And that's the way they do it. That's the way they roll. So we just want you to be able to put it together to make it more palatable to people to understand exactly what you're saying. Because when you can do that, then it makes them want to really get on board with what you're saying, unless they disagree with you and they're liberals. So, and yes, liberals will attack a liberal. Just nature of the beast. Sorry, we've seen it time and time again. So, if you quote anything, make sure it's in quotations. Anything you use as a source or a reference to support what you're saying, make sure it's in brackets. Name of the website, no .com, .net, .org, no .nothing. Just the name of the website, title of the piece if there is one. For the quotes and references, sources, this is going to be the same. Copy and paste the indexed address out of the address bar at the top of your browser. Paste it directly above or directly below the quote. For sources and references, you're going to paste it in the brackets. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to hyperlink the indexed address into the text, changing the text a different color. So when people click on a quote, it goes directly to the page on the website that quote was on. You click on the reference or source, it goes directly to the page on the website that's supporting what you're saying. Like I said, you're not reference sources, you're not quoting, you're just using them to support, blah, 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 blue, 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 blue. As you can see, is supported by this article here on this website in this article. Boom. They're there. Okay. Simple. If you know how to hyperlink, go ahead, hyperlink ahead of time. It's going to save me some time. Again, we're not going to take credit for your piece, so you got to give us something. So like first name or pseudonym, state and location. Again, not a physical address. State and location, just so we can see where we're reaching out. Others can see where we're reaching out. So like Golden Wings from Pensacola, Florida. And if anybody's wondering why I say Golden Wings from Pensacola, Florida, you got the Naval Air Station, Pensacola. So you could be a Navy pilot. You could be a Marine pilot that's on Navy Air, the NAS, Pensacola, I believe it is. Naval Air Station, Pensacola. I believe that's what it's called. I believe it's still there. I mean, I could be wrong. They might have closed it, and I just missed it. With some of the base closures, they may have renamed it. Who freaking knows? Under the Biden administration, they did a lot of crazy stuff. So, Golden Wings, like I said, Pensacola, Florida, from Pensacola, Florida, or Scooby from Bennington, Vermont. Why did you say Scooby? Wouldn't that be a pseudonym? Believe it or not, I actually met somebody that their name was Scooby. I don't know what the parents were thinking. I looked at him. I said, "Did your parents hate you?" He goes, "I don't know. I think they just like Scooby-Doo." So, whatever, man. So, the only reason I use it, I mean, I could use it as a pseudonym example also, but hey. So, okay, here's this. How's it? John from Bennington, Vermont. There you go. Better example. Save Scooby for a rainy day. Oh, it is a rainy day. But again, we want to wish you all a great, safe, and happy Thanksgiving. Again, we want to thank you for any way you try to support us, but we really want those Rumble views up. That's going to be the greatest support. If you can help us drive views, because we can get enough views driven to the website or to our Rumble channel, we can stop the big infomercial in the beginning. Okay, we can kind of like sprinkle it through or do part of it at the end. Do a little snip in the minute, maybe 60 seconds in the beginning, 30, 60 seconds at the end. Okay, but we got to get them views up where we need them so we can start generating what we need to fund what our goals are. Like I said, again, bottom of the homepage on the website, there's a crowdfunding box. Top of all page on the website, there's the hosting gift boxes. So I really want to thank you for joining us for this episode of Patriot View at 1A Independent News. And as always, till next time, share, and stay frosty, my friends.
You've just heard Patriot View
at 1A Independent News
with Bear Direct. Join us on Rumble at 1A Independent News for our daily broadcast.